Hey y'all! A teenage girl accused of murdering her own mother and stepfather. A family split straight down the middle. Some begging for her freedom, others terrified she could walk free. Talk of secret media contracts and documentaries already being discussed before a trial has even happened. And now, a judge shutting the door on bond for the second time. So what really happened in this case? What does the state claim they have? Why does part of the family believe she's innocent? And why does this already feel like one of those cases that's only going to get bigger as more comes out? Let's break it all down. Back in February of 2025, police in Carroll County, Georgia were called to a home where two people had been found shot to death. Kristin Brock and her husband, James Brock. And what makes this even more heartbreaking is that their young child was the one who discovered their bodies. Let that sink in for a second. Not a neighbor, not police doing a welfare check. A child. That alone sets the tone for how traumatic this whole situation is. From the very beginning, investigators treated this as a serious and complex homicide scene. And for months, there was no arrest, which usually means one of two things. Either the case is extremely complicated, or law enforcement is quietly building something much bigger behind the scenes. Then in July of 2025, Sarah Grace Patrick turned herself in. Police arrested her and charged her in connection with the murders. And just like that, this case went from a tragic homicide to a shocking family crime. Because when a child is accused of killing their own parent, people immediately start asking questions. How could this happen? Why would that happen? And is the evidence really that strong? Prosecutors have charged Sarah as an adult. She's facing double murder charges along with aggravated assault. And while they haven't publicly released every detail, they've been very confident in their statements. Investigators have said they have physical evidence, digital evidence, and a massive amount of interviews, which usually tells us this isn't just one piece of evidence pointing at her. It's likely a full puzzle they believe they've put together. But here's the thing. Until we see it in court, we don't know exactly how strong it is. And that's why bond hearings become such a big battleground early on. This is where this case feels different than most, because usually in murder cases, the victim's family is united against the accused. Here, not even close. Sarah's grandparents, the parents of her mother Kristin, have publicly stood by her. They testified saying they don't believe she's dangerous. They don't believe she'd intimidate witnesses. They want her out of jail. Imagine losing your daughter and still believing your granddaughter didn't do it. That tells you how strongly they feel. But then on the other side, James Brock's family is firmly opposed to bond. They say they're afraid. They're worried about witness intimidation, and they feel letting her out would completely disrespect the seriousness of the crime. That kind of family divide usually means there are very different beliefs about what happened inside that house. Sarah has been sitting in jail since July 2025, so her attorneys recently went back to court asking for another chance at bond. They laid out their case carefully. First, no criminal history. Second, no passport. Third, no driver's license. They also emphasized that she voluntarily turned herself in, which, to be fair, judges do often consider. Their logic? If she was planning to run, why surrender? Then they offered extreme restrictions if she were released. House arrest, GPS monitoring, no phone, no social media, no contact with witnesses, basically turning her home into a mini jail. They also raised concerns about mental health and solitary confinement, and stressed that she's still legally a juvenile. But then the state dropped a curveball. Prosecutors revealed that family members had signed contracts connected to potential documentaries or media projects about the case. Now, no money yet, but the judge acknowledged this as new information. And this is important, because when media gets involved early, things can get messy. Public attention, public opinion, potential money, and prosecutors argued that all of that could increase flight risk. Basically, the bigger this case becomes, the more complicated the incentives become. After hearing everything, the judge made it clear there was no significant change since the last bond hearing. Nothing new that legally justified reversing the earlier decision. He also explained something a lot of people don't realize. Murder cases usually take years to reach trial. This one, moving in about a year and a half, is actually fast. The delay happened so both sides could get evaluations and prepare properly. And the media contracts? That raised even more concerns, not fewer. So bond was denied again. Right now, there's a lot we still don't know. What exactly is the digital evidence? Is it messages, searches, location data? What was the motive? Was there an argument, a plan, something else entirely? And investigators early on hinted that other arrests were possible. But so far, nothing, which leaves a big question mark. The trial is scheduled for August 2026. Between now and then, we'll likely see evidence motions, psych evaluations debated, witness lists, and probably more hearings like this one. This case is still building. This is one of those cases that already feels heavy. A brutal crime, a child discovering the bodies, a teen accused of killing her own parent and her step-parent, a family completely divided, and now media attention creeping in before trial. When this case finally goes in front of a jury, it's going to be intense. Because right now, people are already choosing sides, and we haven't even seen the evidence yet. And that's it for this recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching and supporting me. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss any of my recaps. And remember, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.